Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with episode 39, Campaign 2, Talks Machina, the Temple of the False Serpent. Well, it's not the temple, it's just Temple of the False Serpent. We have not achieved that level yet, I don't think. Before we started fighting the Hydra, Matt made it a point to say, this is the Warden. Matt, I'm pretty sure, confirmed this is the Warden, so we were wrong, or I was wrong, because I feel like they thought the same thing as me. I immediately thought, or at least Caduceus did, I thought, all right, based on the things we read, the pieces of paper, the strips of paper from each tablet, it was the sacrifice feeds the fountain feeds the garden feeds the warden feeds or protects or guards the false serpent, or something to that effect. The only thing we have to be concerned of right here is the warden. I thought the fruit fed the warden, which was whoever ate the fruit. And Caduceus thought the same thing. I feel a couple of us did. Even if they didn't think it when Caduceus said it, I feel like that confirmed it in their minds, because I was like, all right, Caduceus is on the same page as me. Matt says, nope, this gigantic Hydra dude is the warden. So now we have to figure out what it was guarding. We haven't gotten that far, because as soon as we defeat the Hydra, we ended the episode. There was a lot of chaos. I was going to wear a shirt like I usually do of who I think did the best job. Yasha got 2 how do you want to do this in that episode. So I was going to wear Yasha. But then I was like, I just wore Yasha for the last one. So I don't want to wear it twice. I want to mix it up a little. Then I was going to wear Caduceus, but I don't have a Caduceus shirt. I think Caduceus probably was the second best. Honestly, Caduceus might have been the #1 player in all that. He didn't do the most damage, but he used Bane. He did a lot of other things. I think Caduceus was possibly the most useful. I try to pick in my mind who was appearing to be the most useful. Caleb, by casting Fireball, showed us that we had to cauterize the heads of the Hydra, which honestly helped a great deal. Had Caleb not done Fireball, I don't know how much longer we would have went not knowing how to cauterize the heads. And had he not done that, we might have got attacked a lot more. There would have been a lot more trouble possibly. I don't know, because even without some of the heads, it was still getting 3 attacks. There's 5 heads, so even without 2 heads, there's still 3 heads to attack. You guys saw what happened. All I know is we prevailed. We find out that Jamedi isn't too helpful. I am not as surprised because he's the tracker and the guide. He kind of sat back and did nothing, to the point where Caduceus literally called him out, was like, dude, carry your own weight, like, you know, do something. And then on Jamedi's next turn, he just stood there again. So we got some questions for Jamedi. Maybe because Jamedi's undead, he can't attack or something? I don't know. Something's up with Jamedi. We're going to jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit everything. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon Hour exclusive for every episode. Dozens of other shows. We started Steven Universe, Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, Vox Machina, and The Last of Us in January. I'm also posting The Last of Us, the game playthrough, on YouTube right now. Check them all out. If not, Talks Machina, episode 39.
We're back.
We're back. Oh,
guys, some crit roll
I probably
stats.
have to turn this up.
Courtesy
Way
of our
quieter
friends
than
at Crit Roll
Talks
Stats.
Machina. Or,
There it is.
the campaign. Crit roll stats.
Matt surpassed 50 nat 20s and 20 nat 1s for this campaign in this episode.
Matt did.
That's a lot.
We've been feeling those.
Yes.
Phew, tell me
There
about
was
it.
a
We're gonna get
record,
into
I
that.
feel like, of
The
nat
Mighty Nine got
20s.
its 150th kill, the Wanti Abomination, killed by Not, played by Sam Riegel. who you guys
Yanti
mentioned
Abomination.
earlier.
He said
Met him a
Wanti.
couple
I think
times.
it's Yanti.
It's fun to drop his names because he likes to drop his
Yanti.
he
I
likes
also
to
heard it
name
go
about everybody. Jesus Christ.
Yoanti.
Everybody. Did
I
you
heard
say
Yoanti and I
Wanti?
heard Yanti. Yeah,
I don't know what the right pronunciation is.
It's
I
Yanti.
don't either. What is it, Danny?
Yanti. I've heard Yanti.
In Critical Recap, I call it a Yanti.
Yanti.
So we're going with that.
I've heard it
Right.
Yanti, and I've heard people
Y-U-A-N.
in the live stream said you could go
Yanni?
Yoanti.
Laurel.
Hey,
Great
Yoanti,
concept.
I've heard.
I
But
don't
Yanti
shit
is
on
how I'm
Yanni,
saying
dude.
it, because that's what I heard the most.
you shouldn't sleep on Yanni.
And that's how Matt Mercer says it, Yanti.
This
Is that
episode
Marisha on his shirt?
marks the
Look at
first
that.
time a character dealt more than 150 damage in an episode,
Yasha?
with Ford dealing 158.
Oh shit, Ford.
This episode.
This episode.
Yeah.
This
158 in one episode. First time anyone's dealt over 150. However,
Really?
he only dealt the second highest amount of damage in this episode. Do you know who did the most?
Yasha.
Yasha, 301.
Yeah.
What?
She's hitting that grog stride.
No
I know, she'll
one's
text me
in
from
this
work
campaign,
and I
I'm
say,
assuming.
"You're-
No
you're
one's hit
killing it."
over
The other night it was like,
150.
hey, you gotta, how do you want to do this? And she's like,
Ford does it.
Watch Travis. I can't wait to see.
And then
She doesn't
Yasha
talk like
doubles
that.
it. But technically,
Oh, God, she's
Ford,
watching me now.
that's how funny is that? Because
This is
Ford was
unbelievable.
working both characters.
She does. She ends up Tuesday nights. She ends up free a lot of times, and she usually watches every episode. And she texts me and says, "Great show."
Oh, hi, Ash.
And then
Hi,
she says,
hi,
like,
Ash.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
How you
Miss
doing?
you.
"Miss you."
That's
By the end
crazy
of the
that no
night,
one's broke
the warden
150
had
and
grown
Yasha
an additional
doubled it.
8 heads on top of its initial 5 and taken 428 points of damage.
8 heads on top of its
I
initial
wasn't
5
joking in the
for
episode. I do
13.
have that miniature.
I put my money on
Yeah,
11. I said
and the
possibly
night after the
12.
show,
Ford went as
I,
high as 15
took
and
a couple of
16.
photos
Travis.
of me shooting it,
We were both wrong. It was right in the middle.
and I came within a razor's breadth of posting that. But then I thought, yeah, I don't want to throw that out there. But he's in that corner.
Thinking about what he did.
Yeah, I have a.
Do you have him facing the wall away
That's
from?
what I'm saying. I have
Yeah.
a bookshelf which has miniatures on it, books and stuff, and at the top are my big minis, which I learned to do from Matthew Mercer because he's Grandpa D&D, and all my big miniatures are in the top. But now the Hydra is in the far corner, facing all the heads are facing the wall.
How many heads do you have on it right now?
5.
Because you like to rip them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
That's my
5.
kink.
Oh, he didn't say it. That's my kink. Ripping the heads off of Hydras.
Good coverage, Chief, because now I get to see a GIF of that later.
Hail Hydra.
Liam,
Hail Hydra.
Speaking of you, first question's for you.
Oh,
Oh no.
I'm me.
Oh no, I fucked up this person's name last time, and now they tweeted me the right thing, but that was weeks ago.
Can't remember which one's the right one.
I
which
wanna
one's
know
the
if I
wrong one.
remember.
It's like,
You know you're going to do it wrong.
yes,
We're gonna
you meet
s-
a person, you don't know if their
I'll
name
probably
is Jeff or
remember.
Steve,
I
but
take
no matter what you say,
great
it's going to be the
love
wrong
and joy
name.
in the
Just
names
because
of these
Paul
people.
is, because it's Paul.
I love
Thank you for the Scotch
the
hockey
clever names they come
that
up
I had
with.
last night when I wasn't online on Twitch. Eva Kushen. Now, I'm gonna get it really wrong, but I added
I think
some
it's Eva
flair to it.
Kuchen. He said
If you're going with the Zimnian, it would be
Kuchen.
Kuchen.
Thank you.
Eva
Kuchen.
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 I don't think I can say that without getting a
Kuchen.
violation.
Oh, it might be Kuchen.
How does
Eva
Caleb
Kuchen,
mentally
because
deal
like a
with being
hen,
in an
Kuchen.
environment where it's hot as hell,
I don't know.
literally anything
I
can
don't
kill
remember
him,
that name.
and there are no books?
Oh man, well his opinion is evolving.
Didn't he say it
quickly.
was?
The heat
Or
thing?
maybe he did say Liam's up
definitely. He's never had anything like that, so that's why the coat came off right away.
Yeah, it did.
He's not really worried about, like, even with the Hydra. I feel like this the group has got it going on. He thinks they've got it going on. And while it was a threat to be taken seriously, it wasn't, oh dear God, Godzilla's here, we're all gonna die.
Caleb was also high as shit off the fruit. So
We handled
in
it.
character, Caleb would probably
Books,
not even realize
he's been
the
liking
severity.
just being on the Menagerie Coast and just sort of being out of the Empire is interesting and curious to him, but being on the boat and being on the island, yeah, it's too many days passing by. So with every day that follows, he's starting to want to get the hell out and go home.
Is there a place that's too far away where he wouldn't be comfortable?
That's fair.
Too far away?
Is Newark and
You mean like
Newark.
So
I
is there a
live
place that's so far away
about
that he
30
wouldn't be
minutes,
nervous
less
anymore?
maybe.
yeah,
from
like
Newark.
is there a
Within
place
30 minutes, I could get to Newark.
so far away from home that he's like,
I don't
I'll
want
go. This stuff that we're doing right now, I'm enjoying, but I don't want to go too far away.
I don't think he'd go any further. Like where he is right now feels like the moon to him.
Okay.
He's very much of the Empire.
Yeah.
And sees leaving it as both a chance to learn things that he doesn't know and experience things he hasn't experienced so that he can do the things he wants to do. But also a way to sort of like everybody, he's cognizant of the fact that everyone in this group has needs, and to get his, it can't just be like railroading everybody, to every library across the Empire. He's got to help out.
Yeah. Makes
in.
sense. Yeah.
He's evolving. That's nice.
We'll see. We'll see, Taliesin.
Yeah.
Taliesin
See, Taliesin.
color-coded his hair
Man,
and
that
socks.
almost perfectly matches your hair.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
frigging,
I just changed
the
it.
first thing I
The hair
thought,
is
and I
awesome.
saw
The hair
Brian
color-
going there.
Yeah, the hair color actually, I use these conditioners that change the color gradually.
Do you do it yourself? I've asked you this before. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, like the initial color
Really?
is done by a friend, and then I have like blue conditioner and red
Do
conditioner.
you and Satine go to the same person?
Oh no.
Is that a
no,
thing?
no.
I've never heard of such a
Satine
thing.
Has her own person.
Conditioners
probably
that
has, like, a
change the
team.
color
Yeah,
of your
they have
hair?
to- yeah, they
Maybe
all-
it's only
yeah,
if you
one
already
person
have
will
like
do it.
elaborate
Yeah,
colors.
we have like a party, a bunch of friends get together, and we all get our hair dyed and do it all at the same time at like a friend's house. And
I
there's
miss the days
cheese
when
and
I
there's
was
like
allowed
internet
stuff like that.
and we gossip about friends and are
That's
really
actually a
catty
good
about it.
idea because
I used
you
to
can
dye my
all
hair like yours as well.
use the
in
colors.
years
There's
past.
a
Did
lot
you
of
ever do
waste,
anything
I
like
feel
that
like, when I
you
see
were
people
younger-
dye their
younger
hair.
buck?
I feel like
Yeah,
if
we
you
had
did a
that
bunch of
photo
people at
we
once,
showed on
you'd
the
get more
one-
bang for your
on the
buck.
One Talks episode. When you did, I think it was your one shot where everyone was teenagers.
Yeah.
And they hate us in chat right now. But anyway, I posted a picture of me as a teenager, and I had black hair, and I had the little thing here.
Oh, yes, I
And
remember.
this was also
Yes.
black. Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I never did black.
I
What color did you dye your hair?
often
did
heard
green, I
people
did red,
call
I did
them
blue.
Okay, I could see green.
I've
What do
had
they call it?
purple. I've had dreadlocks, if you can
flavor
believe that.
savers.
can't believe
I think
that.
that's what they call it, like a flavor saver.
Taliesin.
That's what I used to hear them
please,
called.
clean-
I've
cleanse,
never
cleanse.
just had
Oh.
that. I've either
Sights
had
and
a full
sounds
beard
wants to
or
know.
nothing at all.
The
I've
Wild
never
Mother
had
and Cloaked
anything
Serpent
in
are mortal
between.
enemies. How does Caduceus feel that Fjord's patron, it's
Fjords.
good spelling,
Fjords.
is one of Zahir's creations?
I don't think he's necessarily put that together yet. I don't think he necessarily believes that that's actually what's going on yet. I will say that Caduceus is very uncomfortable with a lot of things happening right now, but is kind of just sort of abandoning the notion of comfort in the hopes of actually getting some answers and getting some direction. He's uncomfortable with a lot of things, and he definitely is. He's not sure that's actually what the deal is yet. In fact, I'm willing to believe that's not even his Taliesin. So
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not convinced that's what's happening yet.
I am so fascinated by this person.
As am I.
It's tied to a kaiju. Is that the word? Am I remembering it right?
That's kaiju.
Yeah.
Yeah. Under siege, it's Godzilla coming up out of the ocean. Caleb's not sweating it. That's the coast.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm sweating it. I feel like there's some dark. I just, Danny, I don't know. Do you? I sense there's some dark shit ahead for Ford. Like,
I am very nervous.
I would
about
agree,
what's gonna
yeah.
happen Because it's a giant snake creature.
I
and
would
it wants to
definitely
kill
say
everything.
I feel like Ford is in
I
for
did
some
this immediately for comfort.
negative. I mean, there's
I was
definitely
just
some
petting the Marisha.
problems going to arise.
This will make me feel
I
better.
too pet Marisha for comfort.
I love
we
that
do
there's
that
a
around the
Marisha.
office. We
I
just go
originally
like,
was like, is that?
Fu Manchu.
You know how
Yeah.
sometimes they put it there and it's not really there, like the
Exactly.
nipple
I mean,
piercings last
facetious,
time.
like a giant kaiju.
I saw him go like
storming
that,
our
and it
front
was
is
actually
bad.
on his shirt.
It's bad news.
Well, yeah, of course
Yeah.
it's bad news.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this one's for you, Liam.
Oh, and there's also one on his iPad. I just
Doc
noticed.
Watson
He's got
91.
Marisha stickers
Here comes
everywhere.
my serious answer. Here we go.
No, don't do that.
No, I don't know
No,
what I'm
roll
gonna
up
say.
your sleeve.
Who knows? Yep.
Oh my God, there's
Clay
one. Now
and
I'm noticing him
Caleb
everywhere.
haven't
There's
had
one
a
on
ton
Liam's
of
mug.
one-on-one time yet.
How many we got
We're
now?
waiting.
True.
Wonder
I
what
think
this
they all just
person
blended into
means
my
by
mind 'cause I
one-on-one.
saw the one on
Is
Brian's
Caleb a
shirt.
tad wary of Cad unleashing some crazy insight bombs on him, or is it simply lack of time?
I mean, he's not worried about Cad picking into his brain. I think that Cad would see what the others see, which is that Caleb's fucked up. But he's not going to know the facts of Caleb's life, and that's all that really matters.
The facts of life.
Facts of
Facts
life.
of life.
The facts of life.
Great show.
I just realized too, didn't we have Taliesin on the last Talks Machina?
Season what? Episode
We've been
what?
doubling
Tell
up
me
on
now.
some
Girls
people.
did you interact with on the
Crit
facts
roll
of life?
stats. Andrew.
Trudy, really?
That's the best answer.
Trudy.
Trudy.
Did we not talk about
No.
God
Really?
damn it,
I'm
man.
on a-
I did a
I've been
2-hour
talking
interview
about
with you. You
Trudy
don't
for
tell
the
me you're
last
on Facts of
8
Life?
years if I'd known you'd act with
You guys
Trudy.
did say that Taliesin
Trudy.
I'll pull it up on
Is
YouTube
a-
later.
is a young
I'm
child actor.
I'm a latchkey kid, and there's a fire next door, and
Oh my God, Liam
about
was a
dinosaurs.
latchkey kid.
He's in an
I was
episode of
waiting
Facts
to be
of Life.
like,
I used to
please,
watch
with
Facts of Life
Natalie,
growing
but
up.
Trudy is the
Trudy's
the
my-
gold mine.
yeah, no,
Trudy's great.
Was she on roller skates at the time?
No roller skate. Although I will say that was
I
a
think
very good set. Everyone
Kim
was very nice.
was
there
Kim
was
the
an There
tomboy?
was an actor backstage.
I remember
who
all of them. I just don't remember
I
the
don't want
names.
to give away who it was.
I think.
at New
I
York
mean,
Comic-Con in the green room with us.
Wait,
that
wasn't
I
it-
have admired for
did he
many,
say
many
Trudy?
years.
Wasn't it
Was on a
Trudy?
show about a guy who has superpowers and can fly. Back in the 90s. Now that guy does a lot of really shitty movies, but she works still, and she's very. Talisin's back there, just they're best friends, and I'm going. You're best friends with someone that was on a show that rhymes with Blesprit Blouse Blives.
Desperate Housewives.
She was so amazing, and Talisin's like, oh yeah, we've known each other for also like thousands of years.
Yes,
I think she's
quietly
one
had
of
the same
them.
reaction.
I was geeking out, and then afterwards, Taliesin goes,
nerd.
"You didn't say anything to her the whole time." I'm like, "She was a very important part of my teenage years." That was crazy.
Which one is he talking about? It's got to be Terry Hatcher.
No, you got to let us know
Oh,
who else you know. So
yes,
we can
he's
be
talking about
prepared
Terry
for that.
Hatcher.
If we walk back and see you, just
Just throw out
you
Trudy.
know everybody.
He said it was a guy that flies, Superman. She was on Lois and Clark, was it?
All right, I look
Something.
forward
I never
to-
watched it, but I know the show.
Back to Caduceus and Caleb.
Yes.
Terry Hatcher.
Second.
So
Not
Taliesin
the
is friends
answer
with
to
Terry
that
Hatcher.
question, but it's been very present in my mind that Caleb and Caduceus have not talked a lot, and it's funny that Caleb is really hazing's not the right word, but Caleb really looks at Caduceus like, we'll see if he lasts. He's the new guy, and it's so weird because you've been at the table, at the table all this time, but I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get people who are relaxed and groovy.
Do you
That doesn't make
think?
sense.
Do you think his skin is tough enough to hang with where you guys are at yet?
I don't think so. I don't think he thinks so.
I mean, ability-wise, sure.
I think mentally he's not
But
prepared.
He's automatically the nicest one in the group now.
I feel like
He's a
Caduceus,
hermit. Well, he is.
Not
he
like
is, but he's a hermit.
intelligence-wise.
And the rest of you, not that he
Because
doesn't
he's
have
a
his own
hermit, I
complexities,
think
but the rest of you guys are a
anxiety
fucking mess.
base, he's
And
not ready
so-
for it.
what you mean.
Yeah, you have no idea of all people. But like,
We all go in guns
guy, not that
blazing.
he, you know,
Caduceus
That's
is like a
fascinated by your
loner
intellectual
that
ability.
hasn't
He really-
seen
he
much
really wants to-
insanity
wants
like
to
we put him into.
know that, and he's
he does.
he's a little shy about it at this point.
His other sock, maybe
that
that's why I didn't
anonymous?
notice right away. His
Humble
other sock
child.
is totally different.
yes.
Stop shipping, Danny.
I will never.
But no, he's fascinated by what you represent, and definitely doesn't understand it, but would like to. So.
Dude,
You're just.
I don't know why.
Yeah, you too. I was gonna say
The
you're just a
chair, like, I
mystery,
feel
but that's
like-
also
like
true.
it's slouching.
yeah. Speaking
No,
of,
he's definitely curious what he would be if he had
Like
had
if
an
I go like
education.
this, I have to like lean this way to make it look like I'm straight.
I wonder what he would
know
be
what's going
too.
on.
Yeah.
What do you think he would be if he hadn't?
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't build him that way.
Well, you know, like Henry David Thoreau wrote a whole book about the importance of just being in wilderness, and it has been scientifically proven that if you spend more time in the wilderness, you're more calm. It has that effect on your body.
Yeah.
So he's just been chilling in a cemetery for decades. So
And like shit went down, but it was never nothing traumatic. So.
I was gonna say, I'm
That
assuming
whole thing with
incidents
being in the
happen.
wilderness and it being calm.
But in the cemetery,
you can't apply to burning.
you're not
going
gonna
to
be
not when someone's like
boxed
shaking
in by a
titties
Hydra.
and a gold
Yeah, I
glow
don't think-
stick.
Don't talk
right
about what
in
you
your
don't
face.
know, man.
Hey, I would go if they would let me in.
Yeah, we've made sure that ain't gonna happen.
that's a different situation. It's questionable how many titties were shaking in Henry David Thoreau's face when he wrote Walden.
Well,
Probably no more than
Wow.
4 or 6.
I'll answer.
I
that.
know the
I'll
name of
answer
the
that
guy he's
just by
talking
saying
about,
as
but I
much
know
as
nothing
hope
about
I
his
see some
work.
Taliesin Trudy action later. I hope to also see that online. Someone will find
Isn't
it on
it?
YouTube.
Wasn't it Tootie?
Taliesin.
I'm not
Miss
kidding. My whole
Mag
life I thought it
Pirate
was
asks,
Tootie, not Trudy.
For someone whose background
I gotta look it
has
up.
been in tending
I'm gonna
to the dead and the
hear this
grieving,
question.
how does Clay feel about the trail of unceremoniously dumped bodies that Mighty Nine often leave behind them? This is kind of going to what I was saying about
It's
thick
Tootie.
skin or
It's
post-mortem
Tootie, not
shenanigans,
Trudy.
like using
I was gonna
limbs
say,
to
I'm like, I
to
used to
seal
watch
traps.
that growing up. It was
everything is food.
Tootie, Tootie, Trudy.
The
The
graveyard.
lady you know, you got the name
The
wrong,
graveyard
sir.
by itself is actually, I mean, on a certain level, I don't want to say it's unceremonious because that's not what they built there. It's a little interesting. The graveyard that he comes from, that he tended, was
I honestly
was
looked it up
designed
because
to
I'm
be
like, my
extremely
whole life
wild
have
in
I been
nature,
wrong?
and a very specific
wanted to make
place
sure
where
I
very
wasn't wrong.
specific people would get put into the earth, and they actually had a lot of this is something poor Matt has to deal with, is absorbing all of my story arc. There were people who would come there and they'd be like, you can't be here. You bring us your dead, and your dead are not going to be here. You're going to have to put them outside the grounds. So those grounds were very specific and needed very specific things that were being tended to. But beyond that graveyard, there are two thoughts of burial within kind of his religious culture, which is kind of air burial, which is the idea is as long as the body's useful, it doesn't matter where you put it, and it's useful by being eaten. So like you can leave it out as long as it's gonna pulp, and then it doesn't matter where it goes because it's not where you put it, it's what happens to it.
It's not where you put it. It's what happens to
Lord, you can make everything into the.
I was gonna say, is that what she said? Hey,
You just
Liam
said
took
I
his
just repeated.
coat off.
I didn't mean anything
Your voice
dirty.
makes everything dirty. Why is it your voice?
I
It's
100%
not
agree
my
with
voice,
Taliesin.
It's the combo of my face and my voice.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what they did, I think, for Caduceus because, he
The
made tea.
Waystone.
It can be used for worm food. We used it for caulking.
What is the other word?
Yeah,
and then eventually snake food after we leave.
it was being used, and that's all that really,
Sam, or Max, he wanted. I get them confused now. A lot of people are doing that.
Same guy.
He wanted me to have you say caulking again.
Caulking.
You know about caulk, Max?
I love cock. You ever see that
Hey,
meme?
Liam.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's
another
like an
one I
Asian
keep
girl,
messing up.
and it has "I love Coke." I see it like
lesbian.
I see it at least once a week
Carno?
on
What
random
is it?
YouTube.
Is it-
It's a
meme
reference to
channels.
something,
like
but I can't
Merlot?
remember what
I
it is. Is it an
love cock.
obscure anime? What am I missing here?
Yes, it's an obscure anime.
Hey, Obscure Anime wants to know, Caleb displayed a lot of trust by giving his spellbooks to Ford before the attempted infiltration of the Wanti temple?
Yanti.
Yanti.
Yawning.
That's the spelling.
Yanti.
The, village.
That's the spelling.
What was going on
It
in
is
his mind
actually,
at
if
that
you
moment?
pronounce it, is how it looks.
Yes, he did. Put a lot of trust in
Yanti.
Ford. He does trust
It,
Ford
to me, is
for-
like
for
how it's
certain
spelled.
things.
But I've heard
Not enough to
Yanti.
tell him everything.
Yanti.
But Caleb's all about calculated risks and the chances that in the middle of this jungle where they're all trying to survive together, that Ford would not give them back. Pretty slim, but it was a thing for him. It wasn't an easy give. And if they survive, he gets them back, and if they're dead, they're dead.
Interesting.
Fair enough. Easy enough.
Painting at home somewhere that says I took a calculated risk, but boy, am I bad at math.
Yes,
Which is
the risk I took was calculated, but man, am I bad at math.
It's
It's
a
my
great
favorite of the troubled birds.
troubled birds.
Caleb has been getting.
I've never heard it. I dig it.
A little cocky, I think, lately. Like since.
I also think it has to do with the fact he's
keeps
on drugs
been
right
really
now.
cocky.
He's probably
Like,
acting
he
really
plugs
cocky.
up holes everywhere he goes.
I don't know
Cocky.
what it is about this guy.
He's going.
That's good because I felt like he had been a little stiff up until then.
Yeah. You just got to loosen him up, Taliesin.
Yeah.
Yeah, since saving the other three, which
It's
again.
like a shaft you have to climb, you know? You just have to get... I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Man. Ball's in your court, Brian.
I was gonna say, question's over.
Really?
We've
Oh,
we've
man,
we've
you're
had
gonna
too many
leave me with that
references
sack
to
hold?
dicks. We got to go back to another question.
Guys. This is so good for. I don't know
I
if
love
you
it
guys
as
can
well.
tell.
You know
but
I love it.
haven't
I love
slept in
the-
a couple of days.
I
extremely
may
sick
only
dog at
like
home that
the
I'm taking
answers
care
to
of.
questions slightly more
Sorry,
than the
he's-
jokes and insanity that Brian
it's
and
so
the rest bring.
unprofessional for me to talk about it. Yeah,
His body can't handle that.
He's on his way. He's on his way up the river. So his mom's coming home tomorrow to take care of him. But I've been taking care of him home alone for the last few days. It's been rough. So sorry if I'm a little off. I text Danny a minute ago. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm terrible right now. This is
That's
sucking.
sad.
Wonderful.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah, he's been on the show too.
Now for rack.
I
Now for
rewatched it.
ruin.
I rewatched it the other night, and I put him up to the thing, and I was like, "Look,
Oh
buddy,
my
you were
God.
on- you were
We just went from
internet
jokey time to sentimental sadness.
All right.
Brian's getting choked up now.
Dickymon wants to know, in light, yeah. Speaking of, that's a perfect question for right where we just
Dickymon.
went.
It is. It's perfect.
In light of Travis's
We're literally
role-playing
doing dick jokes, and the next
Yasha
name is Dickymon.
to some amazing moments and maybe pushing his Boyasha agendas, who would you trust to RP your character if either one of you were out?
I was honestly, when Brian
one
started
person,
talking about it, I'm
or it's
like,
kinda tough?
I wouldn't
I
even
can think-
explain
I
it. You're
mean,
gonna
like-
get yourself worked up. It's sad shit.
Why don't you guys call in guests to RP your character if you're gone?
I don't have any friends anymore because of this place. Just
You
kidding,
know
I do.
Terry Hatcher.
He named her. There he goes. I knew it was Terry
Friends with One of the
Hatcher.
most beautiful.
When he said Desperate Housewives, I didn't
Incredible
realize
people.
what he meant
Fantastic.
first.
Her
But
and
then I'm like,
Jennifer
oh,
Connelly are like,
You get
you know.
Jennifer
I don't know
Connelly
if I
was
can-
just in
I'll
the
try
new
and make
Top
that
Gun.
phone call. I don't know what
Still
you-
looking amazing.
My
She's
God.
got to be late 40s, early
Mild
50s.
acquaintances with Terry.
I watched her when I was young, so she's got to be within 10 years
Question. I
of
want to know the
me.
answer to it.
Because I saw her in Labyrinth, and she was like a teenager.
Possibilities.
I was probably
Is Ashley an option?
5,
or is
maybe
that-
a little older.
Yeah, let's
years.
we can include her in it. Yeah.
Ashley is up there for me. Then it would probably be either Marisha or Travis would be my next two, just for because I think they could get the zen. Also, Ashley would know how to tank the character.
I think Ashley would be my number one RP wise
Yeah.
for Caleb. And then I would probably go to you.
Thank you.
Oh man, that's awesome. Hey,
Yeah, I would like to see Ashley play your character. That would actually be kind of
Come
fun.
home, Shane.
Basically, because Ashley played something. I
if
feel
the
like
time comes, and you know,
I
you
feel like
guys are
that's
voiceover
logical.
dudes. I'm not, but could use a little work. They keep cutting my pay here for the quality of my hosting.
Obvious reasons.
cutting your
reasons.
pay for the quality of your
You need a
hosting.
British guy?
Have you ever dubbed hentai?
Hentai.
No, but people keep asking me and saying that they say your voice kind of reminds me of some nice hentai dubbing.
I never have directed a hentai dub, but I feel like at this point in my career, I could if I wanted to.
There's no VHS tapes out there of you dubbing hentai.
No. Only my
Hentai.
mind.
I was on an airplane with Mary Elizabeth McGlynn one time,
Yep.
and somebody said hentai, and I had no idea what it was.
Oh,
and
no.
Mary explained
I'm quite
hentai to me
familiar.
for a half an hour, and it was the funniest.
Maybe
goddamn
because it was the
conversation I've had in
90s
my
that I
life.
grew up in.
You have those with Mary.
Early
Hey, let's
to
give away some free
mid
shit.
90s. I graduated high school in 99, so I basically grew up throughout the whole 90s. And hentai
Special
was
woman
like
box.
Tonight's giveaway
all
is
over middle school.
some
When I
hentai
bootleg
written by-
VHS
yeah,
tapes.
made by Arsequeef. Guys, it's gift of the week.
GIF of the week. I feel like we're a little late to the GIF of the week, but hey, it's all the same to
Our
me,
winner.
whether it's first, last, or at the end. But that is also last.
You're doing it, Steve. Chris, did you pick that up? Oh, thank God. I'm going to watch that when I get home. That's going to cheer me up. Hey, episode 39, Campaign 2 winner was sent in by Denebian at Denebian.
All right, let's see it. All right, we got to read.
This is great.
Hydra, yoink, 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 ripping all the heads off.
Bink.
That's what you get, spanks it, messing with the Mighty Nine. That might be short and sweet. I like
The
it. That's
perfect
one.
amount of slaps, too.
I like it. That's short and sweet.
Oh, but
1,
I
2,
just
3, 4.
realized
1,
that
2,
somebody
3,
could do
4,
a lot
5,
of
6, 7,
photoshopping
8.
there with
Oh no,
that
he did
too,
a
though.
lot.
Why do you think it won GIF of the week?
Man, that's why.
That's one of those gifts of the week that are
Congrats to
short
you,
and to the
Denebian. You
point,
have won
and I
this
enjoyed it.
Softest shirt in the history of shirts.
Critical Role.
Look at that. This is one of my favorite ones.
I
that
feel
we've
like
come out
the
with,
neck
man.
opening is really big.
Do you know what would be a cool shirt? I
That
thought of the
sounds
other day?
weird, but I like my shirts to fit tight around
Spill
the
it,
neck.
girl.
I don't like when there's like pull on it. Maybe it just got
Remember, you
pulled a
can
lot and
submit
stretched.
for
But I feel
our
like the
weekly
neck on
contests
that,
by
and I've bought
emailing
shirts from Critical Role before, and they fit great.
submit
I
at
just feel like that one looked like
talksmachina.com. I
it
think
got
Lord
really
Mercer would
stretched
be a
out.
great shirt. And I thought of some other good
Like
ones.
those shirts where like
You
the
know,
neck
Rachel
comes down to like
suggested last
here,
night, I
your
guess a lot of
chest hair
people in
shows.
chat during
I
Marisha's
like my shirts
episode
to be
wore
like
the
you
fuck
see,
you
they're like
title card
right
as
around
a
my neck.
t-shirt.
They're not obstructing
And
me
now
from
Such a good payoff.
My brain went
From breathing.
My brain went. Oh, thank you. My brain went to, and now his Baywatch has ended, because it's so inside. It's so inside. Like, but if I just want two critters to run into each other at a hot dog on a stick or something, and be like,
Still
would be
going
like,
dick
I
jokes.
understand that, sure. You know what I mean? And those two become best
It's such a
friends, and then
deep
they have
cut.
a game
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Such a deep
Baseball.
cut.
Get married.
Maybe they
I've
get married.
worn my
That would be
Critical Role
cool.
shirts out and gotten
Taliesin.
like many times.
CD
People like,
88 wants to
oh,
know,
Critical Role.
We
Like,
know that Caduceus
I feel
isn't
like
a
it's
fan
that
of
famous
alcohol, but
now,
how does he feel
where
about psychedelic fruit?
outside, if I
Has he
wear
had
one of
any
these shirts,
exposure to
if
any
I leave right now, I'm
substances
likely
like
to get
that
a
in his
comment
graveyard
at the
in the
mall or
past?
something.
Yes, he is a fan. Yes, he has definitely dabbled in psychotropics. So
All right,
Absolutely.
psychotropics.
I can't wait. I bet he's got some in his pouch, and I can't wait till there's a
We
moment in
all,
an episode.
or
where
maybe
he
not
gives someone
all of us,
one and
but
he goes,
I feel like at least 4 of us. I think it was Bo, Caduceus,
It's a training
Not,
day reference
maybe
for the folks
Caleb,
at home.
Yeah.
Great film. Ethan
Jester,
Hawke.
all took fruit. The only one I don't know,
he,
maybe not
he-
Caleb.
actually,
I'm pretty
there's a
sure
lot of
Bo,
jokes about him
Jester,
being
Caduceus,
a stoner.
and Not
He's
all
not
took
a
extra
stoner.
fruit.
Yeah, he's not a stoner. he
No,
doesn't
but
have the stoner
definitely,
vibe.
Yeah, he's definitely.
He's a fun guy, though.
Yeah.
A fun guy.
This is going
We're
well.
jokey to the extreme over
one-
here.
I mean,
it seems
Fun
like
guy
every
and
dick
mushroom tip,
Yeah.
go
Yeah, it
back to
seems
dick
like
low-hanging
jokes.
fruit.
We are
Low-
just going
yeah,
full
yeah,
circle
yeah,
back
yeah.
to dick
Yeah,
jokes the
that's
entire
definitely
time.
something that grows in the garden. So.
That's interesting.
I recently saw, yesterday to
Donald
be exact,
Cheeto wants to know.
last night a commercial
You know,
for a
of
new
all the Donalds,
mushroom
Yeah.
powder
Glover
that
and
you add
Cheeto
to
are
your
my
beverages.
I like that he
And they
uses his
literally had a
full proper
naked guy
name
and put a mushroom over his dick,
when,
like a
when
mushroom
writing into
tip.
this show.
Exactly.
In the
Why was
commercial.
Caleb willing to eat the fruit? Was he afraid of missing a chance to read? Did he want to show he is actively contributing to the group?
Well, it was shoved into his mouth, so I mean, there are a lot of factors went into my
He
decision
had a lot of
to
choice.
swallow the fruit. Sorry.
Right.
It was just a literal sentence. I was just literally answering the
Dude.
question.
Do you know what? We're having a great time. The mods may not be, but we love our mods. Rachel will send you a sticker
I think
or
it's
something.
glorious. I think
because
it's one of the best episodes ever.
Straight up answer the
I
question.
understand.
On it.
I understand, man.
That was an interesting question
just trying to
because
kill Danny right now.
we
This
were
is all
Danny's
mine. I'm
shown that they I mean, he could have probably spit it out, but I feel like once that shit was in
Tell
his
us more
mouth
about
by
your decision
force,
to swallow.
even if he didn't swallow,
my
I feel like
God.
the juices and stuff would have already taken effect.
Jester
Probably wouldn't have been
ran
as
the-
effective had he
I
spit it
envisioned
out.
Listen, sometimes we do things and two different people
Let's see what he says.
use their imagination, the power of imagination to see things differently. I saw it as an orange wedge getting shoved in his mouth.
That's how I saw
The
it.
damage was done, and it was funny. So
I thought the exact same
swallow the
thing.
fruit.
Why an orange wedge and not a banana or like
I
a
didn't
cucumber?
view it as a
Just-
wedge.
just
I
let my
thought it was
brain-
like cut in half and just like a
That's just where my
grapefruit. Like
brain
you ever
went,
see
was like a
people
wedge
eat
of,
like a
like, papaya or
grapefruit, they
something.
cut it in half and kind of like
something like
hollow it out a
Yeah.
little.
Cool.
I
Persimmon.
imagine they just went, and now the juice just exploded in your face.
A fig?
It's like
So
at that
brain
point
was
you
On the
can
spur of
maybe
the moment
nullify the effects
decide
by
that
eating
Caleb did not
less.
see not off in the corner. They're in a
At that
large
point, go for it.
chamber of trees. They're not at a small table like we are. So I
Yeah.
decided in a split second. Caleb did not see not writing anything down. Jester shoved a wedge of fruit in his mouth. This is funny. This is fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And,
I
and
agree.
he's still high at the top of the next episode.
Yep.
Still high.
Matt said
No
they're
idea
still
how
both
long
as
that's
high
gonna
as
last.
kites. At the end of the
is
episode, he
forever. This is who
confirmed
we
they
are.
were.
Any theories on how
And
long
he
it's
said
gonna
we
last?
also don't know how long this will
12 to
last.
24 hours.
Long rest.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
long rest. That's my theory.
That's your theory?
Yeah.
That's
When
around
in
my
doubt,
guess.
science.
I would say around 12
Did
to
you say
24
well
hours.
endowed?
Good
Oh, I
ballpark.
said when in doubt.
I think so. Hey,
I
guys,
thought
We heard
minimum
it
12
here.
hours. Minimum
Galaxy
12
Cleric
hours.
wants to know how to
I
kill
wouldn't
the
be
fight
surprised
Hydra.
if it carries on for more than a day, though. But minimum 12 hours.
That was a lot. I tried some new spells and tried some stuff I hadn't tried before. I experimented.
That might be loud. I'm going to diet
really.
down
Yeah.
one
Yep, no,
notch
there's no
just in
fighting it
case.
tonight.
That's
Good night.
really
Yeah.
loud.
I'm going to embrace it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it was nice just finding some new stuff in my
halfway.
kit, which I was really happy
Halfway
with.
through.
Like that D4.
That was fucking awesome.
This thing,
Bane.
it's a great spell, and I haven't been using it. I'm going to use it all the fucking time now.
Bane.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then that thing I was doing with Yasha.
I
can't
was
remember
Bane
the,
from Batman.
Vulner-
fuck.
the
Path
vulner-
of the Grave.
Dark Knight
Vulner-
Rises,
Grave,
Bane, that
vulnerability
version with
booster.
Tom Hardy.
It means that I can
2 or 3 years I was Bane.
I can
back
make
when I used to be
an
in
enemy so that
extremely
the
good
next time
shape.
someone hits it, they do double damage.
Oh wow.
So as long as I
So,
know somebody's coming with a big bat, twice the short rest,
it's likely that Yash is going to cream something.
then I can. Shit.
a big bad and
You're
cream
giving
something.
crit damage to somebody, right?
This
Yeah.
is my new
Wow.
favorite episode.
I'm giving it's vulnerable. It makes them vulnerable to all attacks.
Listen, Taliesin and I have 4 decades of depravity chambered. So
Yeah, that was the other thing Taliesin used, where it was vulnerable to everything. It went from vulnerable to nothing, the Hydra, to vulnerable to everything.
This show is something else.
Caleb felt about
But
it
I think it
about
was
the way that
only,
Liam did,
he
which
probably
was,
just
"We
described
have
it, but I
this,
feel
we
like it was
should have
only
this.
for
I know what to do to
the
solve
first
this.
attack
It's not
after he
working.
cast it or
Why
something?
isn't it working? We have this. Oh, good, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was about the arc of it.
Yeah, I made some bad. I was also tired. And I definitely know I made a few bad calls. Like there were just little things. Like I shouldn't have backed off the Hydra. I was watching things happen, going like, I can tell I'm tired.
Do you leave every episode with something where you go, I fucked that up?
Taliesin did
Or
that.
Is it every other
In the episode,
is there
Taliesin
something- 'cause
literally
some
said,
of my
I'm an
games,
idiot. I totally
walk away
fucked
and
up.
I'm
He
like,
didn't say
yeah, I did
fucked
what I
up,
could,
maybe.
considering the
But he
circumstances,
literally said,
considering the
I'm an
roles, you know
idiot.
what I mean?
I
All the
screwed up.
chaos,
I
all
should
the
have did
stuff that's
something
outside
else.
of your
I'm an
control, but
idiot.
how
He called
often do you
himself
go
an
like,
idiot.
"Nah,
Stupid or an
I-
idiot. I'm
I'm
pretty sure he
really
used the word
tired.
idiot.
when you're really tired, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't feel bad.
So I
about that,
totally feel what
putting
he's
both of
saying.
The clerics out in the
I even
woods.
pointed out how
And worth
he
noting, too, and I know
forgot
we've mentioned
that
this
he had
before, but
concentration
you guys
on the thing, and we
usually
talked
work,
about that in the episode.
And for you, you have to get up early because you're kids and like do all this stuff. By the time that everybody gets here, you've already worked a full day and had other like kid stuff, family stuff.
5 a.m. every
5
day.
a.m. Yeah, like it's
Including the day after.
yeah. And the night that spoilers, the night that Molly died, all that happened after midnight. Like that's yeah. So I'm sure
that had been a full day.
I'm
That's
sure
a
you
long
have to
day
give
for
yourself
Liam.
some grace for those.
Is
tired
Brian supposed to be?
moments and stuff.
But yeah, like
Is Brian
last
trying to
week was
say
pretty
Liam is the only one that has an excuse to be tired because he has children and a job?
Life,
we
yes.
were
And
busy
D&D.
last
Life
week.
was hectic in general.
That was
these
a
days.
lot last week.
Yeah, I think the only time I left the game and went, well, you fucked that up is Larkin. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, like, Vax made plenty of boneheaded decisions, but I never regretted them. I mean, even, like, hitting the button outside that glass
Who's
chamber
Larkin?
that filled with acid. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is Larkin a
but
person or a
Larkin's pretty
character?
dumb.
Mine are always technical. They're never like.
I probably shouldn't know
I'm
that.
like, nah,
I
can't
don't
believe
want to
said
know
that.
because
It's
it had
always-
something to
it's
do with
always
Vox
more
Machina.
like,
I don't know if
should've
that's a
just
real
been 5
person's
feet
name
left
or a
when it was-
character
when it
or
was
something.
up
I don't know
back.
what that is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get that with
I had a
Caleb.
teacher named Mrs. Larkin.
Vax just
Last name
left
Larkin.
things and stabbed them.
She was an English teacher.
Was it?
I don't know. I mean, like, even the bad decisions lead to awesome.
Yeah. The
So.
bad decisions do lead to awesome on this show, that's for sure. On Critical Role, I mean.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, the bad things never lead to awesome on this show. Hey, both of you, Concombre 36, how does it feel knowing the fruits could have been used to distract the Hydra?
Did we know that?
I hadn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
And,
Did
Matt
we
said
know that?
Online.
Oh, Matt said it online.
I guess so.
I would have
How
liked
does
to
it
have
feel
gotten the
knowing
Hydra
the
high now
fruits-
that I know that was an option.
Oh, man.
I never thought of such
Hydra
thing. We
High
could
sound
have.
like it would be the name of a Leonard
What?
Skinner
Like we
song.
could have fed the fruit to the Hydra and got it all
Did you
fucked
laugh,
up?
Max?
No.
Was that an option? I mean, they just said it was.
Yeah, it sounds like
Had
it's
no
the-
idea.
No, I mean, like that's now that I know
How
that that's
would
an
we have
option, I'm into
forced
that.
it to eat it?
Just getting a Hydra high?
Yeah.
Forget about our lives in the battle. But
Okay, but here's the thing.
all right.
A lot of people
All right,
respond differently to substances. Do you think getting the Hydra high would have made it
More chaotic?
cool, like chill, or do you think it would have made it
Violent?
paranoid, like my parents are showing up any minute? Oh my
Yeah,
God,
maybe it would have got more
No,
aggressive and chaotic.
Like maybe each head would have had a different response. That could have been very interesting.
Oh, wow.
I'm
that's a great
really
point.
curious now, but we'll never
Well,
know.
I mean,
Yeah,
three of
what
them
if they-
could have been
A
loving
lot
it.
of
In my
different brain
mind, I would have
chemistry
thought-
happening
Could have
there.
been in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
a sitcom.
Yeah.
A Hydra with like 5 different heads and personalities, and they're always fighting with
One
each other.
Hydra
Oh my
living
god,
together.
because in the
Yeah.
thing it says the warden,
shouldn't have mixed.
the garden feeds the warden. Was that in the wording? Were we
damn
supposed to
it.
know the garden feeds? Oh my
man,
god.
this episode.
I feel like an idiot now. It's literally in the
burner.
wording.
It's a
The
burner.
garden feeds the
That's
warden.
This has more dick
We just
jokes
didn't
than
realize
Money
it
Heist
might have
2
helped
for
us.
some reason.
That's interesting. We literally found out Matt said this is
Listen, I
the
got a
warden. He
limited number of
confirmed it was
years
the
left.
warden.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
now
never
or
thought
never.
about the
I know,
words.
we gotta get him out while we can, and in. Let's give away some more free shit, and then we'll move on to fan art of the week.
Fan
Let's
art
go.
of the week. I was gonna say, are we about to do it?
Fan art.
Fan art of the week.
It's me.
Fan art of the week.
This
Hobo
week's winner was
Wizard,
sent
Cap
in by
Fancy
Felicia
Club.
King at a Felicia
Alicia-
King. Let's take a look.
I feel like we've heard Felicia
This is
King.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
majestic. I don't know how else.
That is good.
Man.
The fountain at the bottom and the
Right.
rotating
That
staircase.
is
I want to go there.
All the
dope.
trees
You know
with the
what?
fruit.
It's so interesting because when Matt describes these places,
That's pretty awesome.
the
I didn't picture it like that.
is so different for each person.
I love
Better
it.
than
I
what
did
I
not
would
picture it
Exactly.
anything like
That
that.
was the point I was going to make.
That's
And you see something
pretty
like
awesome.
that, and you go, "God, I'm so glad that someone made that." So that now, when I watch,
Concur.
whenever I watch this episode again, I can picture that exact thing.
Yeah, that's just copied, erased over my mental image of
Exactly.
the garden.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
man.
my mental image was way worse than that.
Could get-
I
yeah.
now take this as my
Fantastic
mental
work,
image, like
Felicia.
Taliesin.
Thank you for submitting.
You have put a better image in my mind. I
have
imagined
won this,
low
Paduke.
hanging fruit, literally. I imagined like short
cool.
little trees
with
low hanging
Ebony Dust
fruit.
Inlay Halloween dice bag.
that was
available
way
now.
cooler than I
Kickstarter. Wormwood at Wormwood Gaming.
this the Halloween wood
This
that
is a
Matt-
really cool
I
color.
know that one's so
That color's
pretty.
really popping.
That was the
I need that one when
Halloween
you're
one
done
that Matt
with it.
gave
Take
away.
this.
Well, I guess they're also giving one
But I
away.
want it. You guys,
But I
you guys know
want
I
it.
keep these after every episode. We never send them to people. But
Color?
We just give fake
irregardless,
names,
Nice.
irregardless.
Your fan art to submit at talksmachina.com. Rules
Submit.
for our contests are available on critroll.com. Moving on, lightning round.
Lightning
Here are the
round.
questions that need to be asked.
We still got about 15 minutes.
Oh,
We're
this
not
should
we're
be-
not
this
done
should
yet.
be interesting. Cuddlefish 333. Let's hear it.
Definitely had this person
Nope, we gotta
before.
go back to Liam for it because I gotta.
We've had a cuddlefish before. Yes, that's
Do you find
why I
it
remember
intimidating
it.
to play such a high intelligence character, especially when faced with a challenge or puzzle you feel your character should be able to solve?
Yeah, because I'm dumb. I'm wicked dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not as smart as Caleb is, for sure. Which is why
Oh, in
I
real
lean
life,
on
he's
mine
saying.
so heavily. I don't take heavy notes.
I was gonna say Caleb is aces, but he made
I don't know.
himself.
I don't have street smarts either. I'm really a lost cause. I'm role playing.
It's not true. Oh, yeah, character.
What's the actual question? Do you find it intimidating? Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
a little
I
bit.
love. I said this during the episode. I love
hard
puzzles,
puzzle.
puzzle games, stuff like that. I
Not
love that
expecting
kind of
this to
stuff.
be what it was.
No, and like,
But I would
sometimes come in
probably
thinking-
more
I don't know, I
likely
come
be
in
a
at
less
different
intelligent
mindset to this
character
game.
because I
Sometimes
like
wanna,
aggressive fighting and
be
stuff
super
more.
alert and like.
So I wouldn't necessarily be dumb.
And,
I just feel like
and like poke people role play wise.
It wouldn't matter to me, intelligence
kind
and
of want to like
wisdom.
kick back and see what happens.
not a
and,
lot.
You know, you never know where you're going to be. I mean, just think about your own home games, people. Like sometimes you're doing this after a full day with the kids, or you're
Yeah.
squeezing it in on a work night, or it just kind of happens how it happens.
Squeezing it in? Oh, Danny picked
That
up
was
on that.
that was reaching.
No, it wasn't.
That
Wow,
isn't.
not for
Danny
Danny.
got that.
That was
I give it
reaching
to you,
around.
Danny. That's not reaching. That is
Taliesin.
straight up a dick joke.
Save us from all these fallacies.
No,
With
don't.
the answer to
Keep
Hey,
going.
what-
Keep
what-
rolling
how
with
did
it.
you-
Danny
yeah, how
came
did you feel
in.
when Travis
Everyone's
said
got a
Molly?
piece so far. That's a joke too.
I am honestly. There's very few things in the world that delight me more than seeing a little bit of shame roll down his face.
People's discomfort.
When he realizes that he
Travis's discomfort specifically is really. It has a flavor.
Yeah.
when he says something and then immediately realizes he shouldn't.
So I
it is a
Travis,
a
I would
jump. He is
definitely
like,
agree, is very
So I
animated.
specifically made an offended face at him, and not a comical one. Like I very specifically mean,
yeah.
To get a reaction.
and because he has it coming. So
Yeah, he does.
Oh, I'm embarrassed to admit the level of Schadenfreude that I feel with Travis playing a really cool, really layered, really interesting character this campaign when he made such a big deal about well, this is just fun and I'm a dummy and you can do anything. And he was always like, don't sweat it. What's the big deal? This is fun. And now he's got this really interesting character. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you and your emotional investment now. Ha! Ha!
Yes, I know.
Welcome.
I know.
Welcome to the asylum.
And he's kind of the leader and
I'm so
See,
hard.
I feel on my first go around, if I was
not
to
that
do
easy,
this
is it?
long term like they
It's
are,
not fucking easy.
I feel I'd pick a
He's got
grog type
moments, and I
character.
love Ford, I love the
Something,
character,
not
I
even
love
because I don't
everything
want to
he's
do a
doing,
lot
and
of
I love
thinking.
watching him sweat.
I
love it
just
so
love
much.
It's so much fun.
brutal, aggressive offense.
He just wears it. I mean,
even at the risk of being
guys are
like
gonna-
low intelligence.
Despite the fact that
I would
in it,
probably
you guys
want to
are
be
gonna love
more
Laura's one shot.
in the
It
middle,
is
though, not maybe
amazing.
Oh, it's
There's a
very-
shot
as-
every
bring a lot.
day.
You bring a lot.
as
to it.
unintelligent as
Oh,
Grog.
you do.
Somewhere
Hey,
like a little above a
Taliesin, answer
Grog.
this question. I
Like,
just wanted to see your reaction.
I don't know.
to
I don't know if I can
Oh,
compare it
that
to
was a-
anybody
that was
yet.
a moment.
I dig
Okay.
Bo a lot.
Delighted me.
That was a moment.
Bo isn't as
Golden Rosie 101. When
Bo's a
playing
little
relatively
squishy,
new
though, and has
character,
to
is
get
it
in
difficult to
close.
remember that Caduceus still doesn't know these people very well and hard to interact as personally with them, not having as deep a connection with Yasha as before.
Weird. Well, I mean, like, if it had been any other character, probably. I can't speak to any other character, I guess. But like, because he is just so. I specifically made a character that very quickly bonds with people because that's what he's been doing for decades. So that I could kind of get past some of that. And weirdly, like, there's something nice about being around people that you kind of know, playing people that you kind of know, doing the hi, and just forcing them to open up and
it would
and
be
get
awkward
into
if it
with
was a
you.
bunch of strangers.
Even though I know a lot
but
of this
it's,
information, I can kind
not
of.
that you wouldn't do it.
It's kind
but
of
it is
fun
more
to just
interesting
back
with
off-
people you
off
know.
of that knowledge.
I
It's
played like
And
sometimes I feel
Caduceus
you're
said,
being casually playfully
Taliesin
trollish,
said,
and
I
it's
am.
great.
I was
absolutely
lucky
am.
enough to be able to
very
mold
true.
the character I
I'm
thought
getting-
would
again,
fit
it's all
better
about
in the
my
group.
revenge on Travis.
Having Molly
This is literally all it's
died
about.
already, and he had a
So
chance
layered.
to
I mean,
course
but-
correct.
But Taliesin is so
Watching Grog this whole
he's
time.
so
going, oh,
layered in the
that's how you
stuff
do
that he
it.
thinks about, though, and you can tell because some of this clay shit that's coming out, and as quickly as you're responding to stuff in a way that is not only so great in character, but it teaches you something about the character in the quippy responses that you're doing.
I get the boy very, very, yeah.
This guy is a little bit like Bruce Lee in that Bruce Lee talked about, like, you know, you're not like tense the whole time, you're totally relaxed, and he's not moving that much, and then suddenly,
Yep.
and then like the fist tenses at the
Yes.
last second with your brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
With
That's
your
exactly how it
brain.
is. Liam.
Love it.
With your brain.
With your
With
brain.
your brain.
Sharp. Sharp one.
Liam.
Days.
Yep.
Find a way to work penis into the answer to this question from Arcanophage. Did eating of
Arcanophage.
the warden's special fruit offer Caleb a reprieve from the burden of his perpetual self-flagellation? Now, that doesn't say... Never mind. How did he feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, the question kind of took care of the dick properly.
Yeah.
It doesn't say self-fellatioation.
Flagellation.
I'm sorry, America and the world.
Self-flagellation is
I'm
well,
sorry,
never know.
Quebec.
Flagellation.
Let's see if I can
Fellatio.
unintentionally talk about penises. I'm sure I can. It didn't go away, but it went way, 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 way down low. It just felt like a distant, faded thing. So it did feel good to not care. It hasn't been that long.
No, you
An hour of it.
An hour? Okay.
Yeah.
pretty giggly.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I mean, even in like
At the end of the
if I've
episode,
ever
I was
had
like,
harder
it can't
times,
have been
like,
more
if I've
than
had
like
one too many.
maybe
It doesn't
30
go away.
minutes
It's
to an
just, you know,
hour.
it's just right here.
I think
and
it's
I go,
less than that based on the time that went by.
have a
Maybe
question.
30 minutes. I forget. Maybe we took the short rest
Do you think
right after? Or I don't
because
remember.
he lives in a
We
state
did take a
of
short rest. It might have been
misery
right
to a certain
after we
extent,
ate it.
manageable
Or
misery,
he
I will
ate it.
say. Do you think it's possible that he could maybe become addicted to something that could make those feelings sort of live under the surface? Or does he want those feelings on the surface? Does he want them accessible?
Yeah, he is about self-flagellation very much so, and does not want to escape it. He wants to just like, he just wants to wallow in it.
Taliesin keeps looking at the camera
I
like
understand.
expecting a joke to come, but he's actually
wants to
speaking
live in a
real, I
bag
feel
of
like, because
dicks.
I thought a joke was coming as well.
Damn.
No, he really likes hating on himself.
Yeah,
That was the point of all this.
interesting. It's interesting he says that was the point of all this.
Man.
No. I didn't mean that as a dick thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean
The
that-
funny
I
thing- oh
mean
my
that
God,
you are summing up.
I started
love
getting
that.
serious again.
But I mean that by all this,
Did Brian-
you mean this backstory, this character you've created, that you're summing up Caleb by saying like that's what you're choosing to be his defining moment. that he's going to use as the access for his life.
He wants to do something unfathomable, fueled by self-loathing.
Yeah.
And there is like a thin little window that if he sticks the landing, he can untie the knot, and it's very unlikely. Even if he fails, I think in his head, he thinks like he's done the unimaginable. He should be willing to risk everything and anything to undo it, including himself.
But see, now you got me all fucked up.
I'd
My
agree with that.
conspiracy theory mind is thinking, because he said not in there. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I knew you caught that, Danny. No, there's some shit. I mean, I got ideas, man.
It's
There's a
always
lot
in
of people on
everything,
Reddit
though.
that are saying
I
stuff,
say
and I'm
this
going
during the
like,
thing.
yeah,
So
I
many
think you're
times am
onto
I
something
explaining
there.
something
I think
and
you're
not
onto something
is
there, but
in
don't
my
tell me shit.
explanation, and it almost sounds like you
She
mean
is a
not
fly in
the
ointment,
character.
But
I have some people sort of like, okay, I get this. I can kind of see where this is going and whatever else. Caleb, man, that's a tough nut to crack. But I have some ideas.
I really do think about, like, maybe I'll reach a point. I honestly don't know. D&D is great. I have no idea where
We're
I want
reaching the
this
end. We might
asshole
have
to
one
go.
question left.
And I could definitely see being one branch.
That wasn't me.
Being like, it's time to go
Yeah.
from the party.
There's a lot of
The cat
ways
heard
that
me.
could go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways that
Yeah.
could go.
Got upset. The cat got upset.
Well, we got to wrap up.
Last one.
But this question is really interesting, so I wanted to get you guys' perspective. This is from not an unclever girl.
Not an
Or
unclever.
Not an uncle Ver girl.
I think not a
What is
clever
going
girl
through
makes
the minds
sense.
of
Let's
Caleb
say
and
it.
Clay
Not
as they draw nearer and nearer to potentially releasing the snake of
nun?
many eyes? Do they feel any hesitation in freeing this powerful creature without knowing much about it?
Yeah, not an unclever girl. That he was right the first time. Not an unclever girl.
Not since he had a child, but he still texts me and says, "I heard the show was great."
Clay hasn't really thought
at the
about it.
face.
Clay's just still pushing forward with the idea that this will get answers.
Yeah.
Haven't really put. Yeah, Clay hasn't put much thought into it yet. Been very myopic, which is weird for him.
Well, it didn't really seem like like something real until recently.
Yeah. And we still
Ford
don't
wasn't
quite
telling everybody
understand
much.
it, right?
But
I don't think we understand what
Caleb
we're
eavesdropped
doing,
and
so to
got quite a
speak.
bit, and now it seems like something that could be on the verge of happening, and it's a bad idea. It's
Even
definitely a bad
knowing
idea.
we're on the verge of having it happen, like he's saying, I
think
don't
that
still
Caleb would
think
stop
we
it if he
understand what it is or
can
is going
or
to
could.
do. Like it could be. I
don't
mean,
know. It
how do we
seems
know?
like such a contradiction too, because Ford, on the surface at least, is such a gentleman and seems to care about people around him. But the thing that he's, and I'm trying not to let, like the knowledge that our characters should not have bleed in, but from what little they do know, it seems so counter to his personality, but that doesn't mean anything, I guess.
I feel like he's hiding a lot.
Caleb does, and doesn't push because of the way he is himself.
Yeah, I would say
Caleb
Ford's
thinks that
hiding
he's
stuff.
hiding a lot.
What about Clay?
yeah.
Yeah, right away.
But then again,
Right away
Ford
you-
could just
you knew
really
this
not
was a-
remember. Ford plays it off like
I think it's in
I don't know.
hiding something in Austin.
I just
not
have
knowing,
visions and this and that.
somebody
But
with
Ford
not a
could
lot
be
of self-knowledge.
being honest.
I think Clay
I don't
really.
believe him 100%.
Clay is curious to see what happens to Ford once Ford has self-knowledge, and that's really going to be kind of the writing on the wall.
Curious or cautious?
Cautious. I'm both.
Both.
Okay.
I would say both
Definitely,
would be
definitely of
my
the opinion that it
opinion.
could go either way, and that if
I'm curious,
if
but I also
self-knowledge
think
informs
shit
a
could
good
go
person, then
bad
that's somebody
quick.
worth having,
Like
and if
something
self-knowledge
takes him
informs bad
over.
decisions, then
I could see him
enough of us
going
to take care of that.
mad
Yeah.
with power, like unintentionally, like uncontrollable power.
Tell me.
Oh,
You were going to say something. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Tell me.
I think Caleb, being the massive hypocrite that he is, just like with Jester and Jester's mom and the thoughts that he has about Jester that he'll never say out loud because he's got no place to say anything. He killed his parents. With Ford, he thinks that Ford is hiding a lot and doing things that seems like he's dealing with things greater than him that he can't possibly get a handle on and is making terrible decisions. how could Caleb ever say anything.
Sure, yeah, based
to
on what he
anybody,
knows
but
of
he
himself.
would probably take. He's such a hypocrite because he would probably take steps to stop Ford from doing the things that he's doing, still knowing that he means to do the things that he wants to do. That you know, fucking with time is dangerous, right? And he's got an idea for how it could work, but if there's a misstep, he could shit all over everything.
Yeah.
But
I
he
don't
would
think
probably
that's being
still
a
try to stop
hypocrite,
Ford
though.
from releasing Gojira.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Gojira.
being a hypocrite because Caleb learned from his mistakes and now is making
Do it again. Wait.
more experienced, knowledgeable choices based on possibly stopping Ford.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight.
I don't
folks.
know. I get what Liam's saying. I enjoyed Liam's
Ended on
answer
on
there.
a high note. Yeah.
I don't know if I personally would look at it like that though, but I get what he's saying.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. Don't do
no,
that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Nope, don't do that, please. Well, stick around for Talks Machina After Dark. I would like to thank Liam and Taliesin for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having
Guys,
me. Brian.
Yeah.
Liam and Taliesin, great,
I'm so excited.
great
Please
stuff.
enjoy, and I'm sorry, Laura's one shot on Thursday night this week, and then the following week we'll be back with episode 40.
We'll be starting episode 40 at almost
that's
the
so
exact
cool.
same
We're getting
time
into some shit now.
of year. They are.
Until
It's
then,
November
As we
1st.
always say, don't forget to
And they're
love each
skipping 2
other.
weeks.
Don't worry, it's almost Thursday.
Almost there.
Stay tuned, my friends.
Stay tuned, my friends. All right, guys, so there we go. We got Talks Machina episode 39. I just went back and looked, and we did get Taliesin on the last one because I remember being like, I feel like we haven't seen Taliesin in a while. And then I'm like, oh, good to see Taliesin. We haven't seen him in a while. Granted, the whole Molly thing happened. I feel like Caduceus came in on the 5th week, but like at the very end of the episode, or maybe it was the very end of the 4th week. Either way, he was gone for at least a month as a character in the game. Then we got Caduceus. And I feel like right around them, we might have got a Taliesin episode, but I feel like there's been far and few between with Taliesin. If I had to pick whoever's been on the most, I feel like Sam, Matt Mercer, and Travis have been on the most. I could be wrong. This is just like based on my memory. And then I feel like Ashley Johnson's the lowest. Taliesin's maybe next to her. Then maybe Bo, then Liam, in that order. And then, like I said, if I had to pick who I think's been on the most, maybe Travis? I feel like Travis has been on more than anybody. If not him, my money would go to Matt Mercer or Sam. Because I feel like I just see them all the time. Sam was in the last one with Taliesin. Now Taliesin's with Liam. I like how they did that. We got Nott and Caleb, aka Sam and Liam, to be on with Taliesin back-to-back weeks. And I enjoy what Taliesin's doing. The way we're using Taliesin now as far as Caduceus, the character, very intriguing. I'm more curious about Liam, about Nott, about Ford, about Bo. I think it's just that we've lived with these characters more. So even though I think Caduceus is awesome and I'm loving his character, to me, he might have been the most useful or beneficial in the last fight. I said it earlier. The only reason I wore the Caleb shirt is because I don't have a Caduceus shirt left, and I wore Molly's shirt for 3 straight episodes. So I felt like I honored Taliesin for his good deeds. But I usually wear a shirt based on who I think did the best. Yasha did amazing. They just said in the crit roll stats, Yasha did 301 damage. I don't know if he meant over all the campaigns. I'm assuming he meant just in campaign 2. No one has broken 150 in an episode as far as damage. Ford does it by 8 points and still doesn't win because Yasha doubled it to 301. That is shocking. But honestly, it makes sense because Yasha had 2 of the, how do you want to do this? Now, that doesn't really mean much. It could have been like Jametti ran over and hit him one time for 5 hit points and killed the dude for all we know. But Yasha has been swinging away like a champion. Yasha got the most points. I mean, even Yasha, I'm very curious about. But I feel like because Ashley Johnson isn't around and Ford controls the character, I feel like Yasha's great in a battle because we roll for her and stuff. But as far as walking around and having ideas and doing things, no one's really speaking for Yasha in those cases because it's not their character. So either they don't think to or they don't want to because it's Ashley's character, so they kind of just let Yasha go through the motions. But when they need her to attack, she's going to attack kind of thing. I thought this episode was great. We had a lot of joking going on. They made a dick joke early on, and that dick joke carried on throughout the entire episode. but all in hilariously great ways. Like sometimes it didn't even seem intentional. Sometimes they'd walk right into the joke. I even a few times said jokes related to it unintentionally, making dick jokes. If you say a paragraph of words, there's probably something in there that could be misdirected or used as a dick joke. And that's what Brian, I think, was kind of saying. Then Brian told us the horribly sad story. Luckily, the next name was Dickymon, which also was a dick joke and broke up the sadness, but that was horribly sad and everything. You could see Brian was truly affected by it. I was like, dude, as he started telling the story, I'm like, dude, lay off the story because you're getting me worked up and I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, I know what he's talking about, but I'm a stranger when it comes to the scenario. He was able to save himself and we got an amazing episode. We have a 2-week break for them, but we're not. The live stream is Friday. You're going to see this Thursday the way we've been doing it. Monday, part 1. Tuesday, the Patreon hour. Wednesday, part 2. Thursday, Talks Machina. Friday, the live stream. So basically every day of the week besides the weekend. But this week, you even got after hours because it was the end of the month. Thanksgiving's coming. We got Talks Machina after hours. So this week, you're getting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 6 straight days of content. And then we're going to do live stream. So you guys let me know what you think. I'm jumping into other things. You want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon hour exclusive for every episode. One Punch Man, Steven Universe, Chainsaw Man, Chucky, the new Vox Machina, Last of Us. So many shows exclusive to Patreon. Check it out. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.